But as the hour nears for the vote, House Republicans still don't have the votes to pass the Senate version. Both chambers must agree on this budget proposal to unlock the budget tool known as reconciliation. Under reconciliation, items such as tax cuts and border spending could be passed without facing the risk of a Senate filibuster. And today, the House Judiciary Committee held a hearing to examine government surveillance of American citizens. Earlier, I spoke to Committee Chairman Jim Jordan from Ohio. Mr. Chairman, nice to see you, sir.
Good to be with you, Greta.
Mr. Chairman, I think it was it was actually, maybe it's not unexpected. Both you and Congressman Jamie Raskin are on the same page about spying on Americans. And today he had good words for you, kind words, reaching across the aisle. What did you think when you heard them?
Well, every once in a while that happens. Left and right come full circle when it comes to civil liberties and protecting our fundamental rights. And we are 1 year away from the 702 program of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act when that comes up for reauthorization. And I want to make sure we get a warrant requirement in there. This giant database of information gets put together when our government is rightfully spying and surveilling foreigners. But what happens when they do that is they pick up Americans as well. And what we've said is if you're going to go search that database, you're going to use an American's name, phone number, email address, you got to go to a separate and equal branch of government and get a probable cause warrant. That's how our great system works. You want to look at someone's stuff, go get a warrant from a judge to do so. And we want to make sure we win on that issue over the next year when that thing comes up for reauthorization. Because as you know, Greta, we lost, unfortunately, 212. And I learned a long time ago, winning beats losing. I hate to lose, and so we got to win that thing. We're starting early.
Well, the interesting thing, or maybe the disheartening thing about 702 is that the Americans who are spied on, and obviously we do want national security, we want to be safe from anything that's happening with people overseas against the United States, but we don't even know when we're spied on. We don't even know when our information has been collected. Nobody calls us up and say, look, we caught you on this. So, we have your information, even though you haven't done anything wrong. They don't tell you.
No, exactly. All the more reason why you got to have a warrant. So you got to go to a judge and get the okay to go do this. Because what we found is they had all these rules and protocols and things they're supposed to follow. Well, 3 million times that database was searched. And understand this, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, Section 702 says you're supposed to surveil foreigners outside the country for intelligence. You're not supposed to go after Americans. So if you pick up Americans' information, how can you then look for Americans' information if you were never supposed to get it in the first place? Now, the good news is we got a ruling from a district court in New York that said that very thing. How can you then get a warrantless search of information you weren't supposed to get in the first place? So we think we're on stronger ground as we make this argument over the next year. And I'm hopeful that we can win this thing next year. But like I said, we're starting to lay that groundwork because we know how this works in Congress. It's going to be a long, hard fight.
Well, the word that they use for the search is something a little bit delicate or soft. They call it a query or something like that when they go through. But who actually gets to conduct, who gets to go checking through the records to see if Greta Van Susteren's there? Who gets to do that?
Could be anyone. It could be someone in the FBI. Could be someone in the NSC. Any of our intelligence agencies can do this. So last year we did some reforms that limited the number. We found out it was thousands of people at the FBI who had the potential to do these searches. They did 3 million of them on Americans back in 2021. That number has come down, but it's way too many people. So we limited that. But the best limitation again is to do a warrant. Then you got a judge who's okaying that like it's supposed to be. In our system. So I do think it's interesting. Query is a fancy word for search. They are searching your stuff using your name, your email address, your phone number. If you're going to do that, you got to go to a separate branch of government. You got to get a warrant to be able to do that kind of search.
What's the opposition to doing that? When you said that you attempted to do that last year, it's up for reauthorizations in a year. What was what did your opponents say?
Oh, great question. They say, oh, this will slow us down. This is, there may be an imminent threat. So guess what we did? We said if there's exigent circumstances, if there's an imminent threat, okay, you can go ahead. In some ways, I thought we gave too much, frankly. But they still oh, that's not enough. We got to be able to do this. Big government always wants the convenient route to get what they want. not so much worried about our liberties. And our founders understood, no. We have a Bill of Rights. We have a Constitution designed to protect those fundamental rights we got from the good Lord when he made us. So that is the big distinction here. They will also say this: we collected that information in a lawful way because we collected that information on foreigners, and we incidentally picked up some American information. Well, okay, you might have incidentally picked up American information, but you can't then put it in the database and go search it later when you're trying to go after an American without getting a warrant. And so, again, I think all the arguments are strong on our side. We now have this court decision from a few months ago. I'm just hopeful we're going to win this time.
And who's doing the collecting? Is it just sort of random trolling, looking to see what from databases or from other sources? I mean, who's doing the trolling? I understand who's doing the searches once you collect the data, but who's doing the trolling?
Yeah, they found FBI agents. They found the Inspector General, not House Republicans. The Inspector General found that the FBI didn't even follow their own rules. They were searching other agents. They were searching people coming to work at the FBI. They were searching some, I think, the maintenance workers and the custodial workers and the laborers who were coming to work there. They were searching all kinds of things. They searched a congressional campaign. 278,000 times the Inspector General at the Justice Department found that the FBI didn't even follow their own protocols, their own rules when they accessed this database and searched Americans' information.
And of course, there's no recourse either. I mean, there's no punishment when the FBI doesn't follow its own rules.
Yeah, remember the FBI agent who lied to the FISA court, this is the other part of FISA, but lied to the FISA court to get those warrants to spy on President Trump's campaign. This is Kevin Kleinsmith. He basically got a slap on the wrist. Again, not my words, that's what the Wall Street Journal said. Got a slap on the wrist. And of course, the guy who gave him the slap on the wrist is this now somewhat famous Judge Boasberg, who's been in the news of late with this decision where he said, turn the plane around and bring back the bad guys who were here, part of this international criminal organization, Trinidad. So, yeah, there's problems there as well. But I do think we made progress last Congress. We just want to make more this Congress and protect that fundamental right we have.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir. People think news just happens. It doesn't. It happens because there's someone there to capture the moment, to explain it and share it. That's my job. I go where news breaks and give you the facts. Join me for The Record on Newsmax.